Well guys, it's Sunday, which means it's Yu-Gi-Oh day. However, fucking car issues again. So sadly, there's no locals today, not for me anyway, because this ain't going on with the steering wheel. Ryan, bless his heart, is going to come over and look at the car again and see if he can figure it out. However, mummy's gone out, so some daddy-daughter time this morning. Yeah. And she's singing along to one of her songs that she likes. So we're going to have some daddy-daughter time. I have some organising to do in the office. I'm going through and sorting out my bulk. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then, so we're going to organise, sort out my bulk. Might show you some of that, I don't know. But then also I got a request on my last video showing how I price up cards, where I get my prices from, how I list cards, etc, etc. So I'll show you all of that because it's informative and could be helpful. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's very strange video. Do a deck list as well, the Sword Soul deck I was going to take, and I will catch you guys later. We're going to go have some, what do you think, penguins? We're going to go have a penguin. So yeah. So this is all the bulk I'm sorting out. Yeah, great fun. If I can do this right. And boom. Not perfect, but a hell of a lot better, and all the bulk is sorted, put away into the tins, which are kept down there. And yeah, desks are actually somewhat tidy and organised, apart from a few little bits over there. But yeah, so now we will record price checking, uploading to eBay, how I price check, how I price things myself, and my thoughts and behind it. So yeah, enjoy that. Okay guys, so what we're going to do now is, like I said, we are going to have a look at how I gauge prices through eBay, how I upload, how I basically do what I do as a collector, buying and selling cards. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you find this somewhat informative. But yeah, any other suggestions for videos, please leave a comment, let me know. But with that in mind, I'm now going to face it to the computer and we will make a start. Okay, so as you'll see, my eBay is already loaded on the laptop. This is a 2-device operation. So I have an old phone, when it focuses, focus, there we go. I have an old phone that I use for this basically, so I'm not clogging up my main phone with photos of the cards and whatnot. What we've got here is cards that have already been priced up and listed. So these first couple of pages are already priced and up and listed on eBay. So what we're going to be doing is working off, again, focus please, thank you, working off these pages, just to try and get some of this stuff shifted really. But also what I like to do as well is just double check once a card's been listed for a while that I'm still sitting in the right ball price, because at the end of the day, markets are volatile. So one day a card could be worth £10 and then somebody tops an event or does really well with it, or somebody thinks of it of a spicy little combo inside a meta deck or something that can compete against the meta deck, and then that price will go up in value. So what I'm going to double check is the Cash Dealer Fenrir. Wow, this focus is not right. There we go. Cash Dealer Fenrir. This is the original printing from Dabble. So all we do is we type in the code, which you can find in the bottom right underneath the picture. So in this case, DABLEN012. eBay will then search, and here we have Cash Dealer Fenrir listed for £13.19, £13.75, £14.75, etc, etc. So there are some which are much higher I believe I currently have mine listed for 15 a copy. I believe, let me double check that. And this is where the other device comes in handy, because then rather than going off this to then go on to another one, I can literally just jump back and forth. So then we scroll through, we find the cash deal with Fenrir listing. Yeah, so we are selling ours at £15 per copy. When it focuses again, please focus. My God, there we go. So £15, all best offer. I think this is plus postage. So because of the buyer protection, it's upped it to £16.32. Okay, so and then postage. Oh no, free. So this is how I like to do it. I like to cover the postage, but I will take that in mind of what I'm selling. So this would be sent tracked, even if you just bought one. I would send this tracked, because anything over kind of £12. Now, I'm not saying this about everybody on the internet, but quite a few people are disingenuous, I think is the politically correct way of putting that. And you can send it. So this is our listing here. Just double check this is our listing. Yeah, there we go. Mystic Frost 86. 100% positive feedback. So, yeah, so you could send it. They'll receive it, but then say they won't. So then eBay always sides with the buyer, and they will force that refund. So then you've lost the card and you've lost the money. So I would rather lose £2.70 in postage than £14 worth of cards. Now, because this does have that stupid buyer protection fee, which I think is ridiculous. Why is it saying review offer? I don't have an offer on this card. I am going to lower the price slightly. So again, this is where I come in on the phone to do it. And all you do is you go into your review listing, and then you just scroll down to price. So UK buyers will pay £1.32. I've currently got it listed at 15. So all I'm going to do is drop this to £13.50. I accept offers. Now, don't get me wrong, if you offer me £8 for the card, when it refocuses, I'm not going to accept that. But obviously, if I get an offer, I will then double check the current listings and see if the offer is in line with that. And if it is, I'll then accept the offer. If it's not within line, then I will not accept the offer, because why would I? So there we go. That's how you manage your stock. And honestly, listing is very similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Promethean Princess. We have two currently for sale. Reason why I want to list this is because I see it popping off at the minute. Online, loads of people are asking for copies of this card. So not entirely sure why. I'm not really up to date with set releases, in the sense of, oh, this meta deck's coming out, that meta deck's coming out. So I don't really know why this card is then popping off again. But strike while the iron is hot, so to speak. That's got to be for the QCR, right? If that's QCR, they need to put that in their listing. But even though it's popping off, it's still not that expensive if you look at it. So people are listing it for £9, 4p here, but then you've got £2.5, which, if it's the same card, either this person has listed theirs a while ago and just hasn't came back to double check it. But also look at that Bowen, so that could be why they've listed that for a bit cheaper. But £5.92, £9.48. So the prices on this at the minute, ultra rare for £39.90. So that's somebody living in dream world right now. So the prices of this are kind of all over the shop. So £4.60, £5.60, £5.40, £4. £9. You know, so on average, I'd say you're kind of looking at about £5 for this card, give or take, based on the listings. Now, you don't always have to be the cheapest. If you want to be the cheapest, by all means, feel free, but you don't have to be the cheapest. Now, I'm not going to mess around with the camera and try and move it, because trying to get this angle was a nightmare. However, what I am doing now is I've taken one of the Promethean Princesses out of its case, out of its sleeve, and we will take some photos of it, because when you upload to eBay, you always need to upload with photos, so bear that in mind. So I am taking those photos now. So there we go. So photos are taken. So now what we do, now hopefully the camera is in the phone is in focus, because now what we do is we list item. It says tell us what you're selling. So again, we put in that code. So PHNI EN052, like so. Now this will show you everything from the set, but it should then show you what it is you're actually looking for at the bottom. But sometimes it doesn't do that, like this one hasn't done that. And I think it's to do with the set code of Finney. It doesn't always like that. So instead what you can do is type in the name instead. So there we go. We search on that. Oh, no. You see, so now it's trying to bring up the Rarity Collection ones, and we don't have the Rarity Collection. We have the Finney ones. So what you do now is you scroll down, try and find the one that matches Finney. This is the only one that I can't see anything. The rest all just say Rarity Collection. I didn't realise how many of these came. Well, I'll be honest, I didn't even know this came in the Rarity Collection, so that's quite interesting to find out. So the fact that it's still holding like £5 value is quite good. I see this, even this is a Rarity Collection. Right, so I am going to show you another card, just because this one will have to all be manually entered and will be a colossal pain in the backside. So bear with me. What we will do is we'll keep working through the folder. So the first card we've got for sale, which I haven't listed yet, is of course the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. This has seen some popularity increase because of the Blue Eyes deck. So again, we find out how much it is currently being sold for. HSRDEN 044. So this will search. I'll say it's gaining popularity. Someone slaps one up for £3.95. When I last looked online, these were about £8, as you can see here. £8, £8, £5, £9, £8. Just short of 8. And then you've got a couple underliers. So I don't know again if these are new because the price has dropped. But you've only got 2 or 3 under. So what I'm going to actually do is list mine at 7. Because like I said, you don't always have to be the cheapest, because you think that you have to cover postage. You have to buy your envelopes, your stamps, your top loaders, your penny sleeves. I know none of these things individually sound expensive, but I actually worked out that if you divided up the cost of a pack of penny sleeves, a pack of top loaders and envelopes, along with standard postage, which is 85p, it actually works out that you're spending £1.12 per card you sell. So if you're selling that at £3.95, you're losing £1.12. So therefore you're only going to make £2.83 on that card. And that's sending it in a plain white envelope with a penny sleeve and a top loader. Now, if you use the hardback envelopes, which cost more, you obviously lose more. If you put it in an actual card sleeve rather than a penny sleeve, they cost more on average. So you might have loads of card sleeves laying around, so it's not important, but when you run out and you start putting them in card sleeves, that price soon adds up. So you have to bear that in mind. Now, I'm actually not going to list this Black Rose just because there's actually some damage to the card. I don't know if you can see that. Let's get this in focus. The top corners, hello, focus please. Thank you. So the corners at the top, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but they're actually bent inwards, and there's some nick marks here on the side. Again, the camera's not picking it up, but honestly, I would have to sell this as light played, and I'm talking light played. And when people are selling cards for £3.95 as light played, for me, it's starting to hit that point of, is it worth it? When that could most probably still be used as trade bait. So that's what you got to bear in mind. So there's so many different elements that come into this. And then it is really, really important to ensure that after you've sold a card, that you actually get it out on time. So, for example, I have a lot of unread messages because that's all leeway, but it doesn't actually show us on here, does it? So, you know, sometimes things pop off. So last 90 days, 844, but obviously I sell for other people as well, so that's not all my money, unfortunately. It'd be lovely if it is. Yeah, I've got no issue obviously showing you guys all of this, because when I was trying to figure this out myself, I actually got really confused and totally overwhelmed for days at a time. So these are all the listings that we currently have. Like I said, I'll go through these once a week and just double check that the pricing is still sat right. And then there's cards that have sat here for ages that have just never sold. But I'm not going to take them down, because at the end of the day, people buy random cards. And, you know, I've got things listed that I thought would fly off the shelf, such as the Fenris, you know, the SP Little Knight. I'm fully aware this one is currently listed at £23 because it's the Agov Secret Rare. You know, it's not the reprint. Same with the Triple Tactics Thrust. These are sitting at £19 each, and we have 2 of them. So I had 17 views on it. But so these have kind of sat, and this Infinite Impermanence is a secret rare from Flood, which I believe is the first set it came in secret rare, and they are selling at about £30, and we have 1 left. We actually sold one of these within like 24 hours of it going live, and I'll be honest, I did not expect this to sell at all, because you can get the secret rare from Rarity Collection for like 1/3 of the price. So, you know, random cards do sell. So if you've got something and you're not using it, sell it, because at the end of the day, the more you sell and the more money you can accumulate through the card pool itself, the better, because then that way you've got that money to put into decks you're playing, put into decks that you're trying to build, and then that way the game pays for itself. Now, that's not always going to be the case, but it certainly does help the expenditures along the way. So that's something just to bear in mind. And like I said, unfortunately I didn't get to locals this week, so what I'm actually going to do now is show you the deck profile of the Sword Soul deck I was going to take to locals, just so you can see that. Normally that's something I'd post over on the TikTok, but because this YouTube video is very random, I think I'll show it here, and maybe, I don't know, maybe show you a staple folder or something. I don't know. We'll try and flesh this out a little bit, just so you guys are actually getting some form of decent entertainment. But yeah, so we'll be back in a moment with the deck profile. Okay, so here we are with the Sword Soul deck profile, which I was going to take to locals today. My son takes this to locals most weeks because it is his deck. It was mine at one point, but I traded it to him. But yeah, I was going to take it and play it this week, see how I could do. I made 1 or 2 slight changes, which I'll explain as I go. And yeah, that's about it. And also, I still have his feature match from last week. I haven't uploaded. I haven't forgot about that, and it is coming. So starting off with the Tenny lineup, of course, we play the 3 Ashuna. We are on 2 Vishudas. We are on 2 Ataras and 1 Shatana. And then we are on 3 Soraya. Now this card, I've seen a lot of people play at 1 or 2, but this is 100% a 3 of. With the Sword Soul lineup itself, we have the incredible Ecclesia, the Sword Soul of Mei, 3 Strategist, it's 2 Tayas, 3 copies of Emergence, and 1 Blackout. And then with the non-Sword Soul cards, or Tenny cards, we have the 3 Pot of Desires, the 1 Protoss, and the 1 Necro Valley. So Necro Valley is searchable off the new Synchro monster. Then we're on 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and 3 Droll. Just being the most universal hand traps in this current format. Sometimes I don't like running both Ash and Droll, but in this format I'd say it's definitely needed. As for the main deck, I did cut 2 or 3 cards. I cut 1 for Shooter, just because realistically I wanted to try and keep the deck as 40 to keep it as consistent as possible. And I cut the sort of summit that Corey was using. For the extra deck, we have our 3 copies of Monk. We have our 1 copy of Shaman. Now this is something that Corey put in, and I left it in because it's actually quite funny and can get you out of a bind when needed. And that's Draco Masters of the Tenny. It's very, very rare that you can go into the Link 3, but if you do, it actually comes up with the pops. But not only that as well, if you use the new Tenny main deck monster and you've already summoned this out, this still gives you just another pretty decent target. So, quite good. Then, of course, we're on the 2 Sword Soul Grandmaster Chichao. We are on 2 copies of Baxia. Reason why you're on 2 is because it's part of your first turn combo to light lock your opponent if you want to go down that route. And you light lock them with the Chow Feng, I guess that's how it's pronounced. And then you've got the other Yazzie for later on to spin cards back. We are on 2 copies of the new Tenny Spirit Mula Adhara. Now, Corey was on 1 of these and 1 Draco back, but I changed the Draco back for the second copy of this. They've both got 3,000 attacks, and yes, the Draco back can then attack, kill something, gain attack, attack again. But this can attack twice as long as you've got a normal monster on your side field. But not only can he attack twice, it doesn't have to be into monsters, they can be direct attacks. And also you can't target it with card effects and cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So I just felt that was more universal. But also if I get the first one out and I don't currently control a normal monster and I go to search for the field spell and you imperm it, I've still got a second one in the wings to search me that Necro Valley. And then the last 2 cards are the Sinister Sovereign and Supreme Sovereign Chengfeng. So that's the extra deck. The side decks are all pretty generic, but I'll show you anyway. We've got 2 Lightning Storm, we've got 3 Ghost Ogre to hit things like the Mausoleum of White or the True Light or the Deception, you know, that kind of stuff. 3 Book of Eclipse, 3 Lanciers, and 3D Barriers, which are all, like I said, very generic in this format. These are kind of cards, staple cards that will need to sit in everyone's extra deck. Now, I'm not going to show you my staple folder. If you want to see that, please request it. I will put it up in a separate video. That is never an issue. But what I will show you is the same that I have, which I think is very, very cool, and it's in this white folder. So this white folder is just filled with cards that I absolutely love. Some of my favourite cards from not necessarily the anime, but from the game as well as the anime. And the first one is my favourite card of all times, is the Odd Eyes. Now, I've got 9 copies of Odd Eyes in this folder right here. Now, the reason why I've got 9 copies is because I've got a playset of 3 different ones. So the first one is I have a playset of the tin quarter centuries. Now, these literally sell for like £1 or 2. They're not expensive at all. But when you can get a quarter century of your favourite card, you take it. These actually got a really good deal on. These are the ultimate rares. My local game shop was selling them for £10 a copy, so £30. I offered 25 cash there and then for all 3, and they accepted. So I don't know how much they're currently worth, but I'd happily pay 25 quid for a playset of that. And then the last ones I actually picked up from a trade when I first got back into the game, from a guy called Ellis, who worked at Geek Retreat North. Geek Retreat North is no longer there. And these are the CT tins, so the collector tins. Come with like a boss monster in a nice rarity. And as you can see, the secret rare rarity sparkle, I'll take out the oversleeve so you can see it properly. The secret rare sparkle is kind of everywhere, and to me this feels like what the platinum secret rare went on to, like, took this design of rarity and ran with it and became what it is. So yeah, I absolutely love Odd Eyes. It's my favourite card. It's not good by any means of the word, but I absolutely love it. And with that in mind, I'll just show you these other pages. So these Magnet Warriors are actually from the video game Duelist Roses. I got given that video game when it came out by my mum. And I've kept them for all these years. I haven't traded them. They're beat up, they're scuffed, because obviously when you played as kids, even as teenagers back in the day, you didn't really bother with card sleeves because we just played tabletop Yu-Gi-Oh! So things like card sleeves, game mats just wasn't a thing because zones were just not important. Then I got the Valkyrion, the Speed Duel Secret, because for me the Speed Duel Secrets are some of the most beautiful secrets. I'm going to take it out of this sleeve because these pink sleeves just dull the shine. But just the way the Speed Duel Secrets sparkle, it gives it like a bit of a darker context, which is really, really nice, and it makes those colours pop. But these pink sleeves are currently in kind of got like a hazy finish over the front, so it kind of takes away some of the shine. Then the Silent Swordsman monsters I used a lot when I was younger. Like I said, tabletop Yu-Gi-Oh! Little Yugi, I absolutely loved the Silent Swordsman, and my best mate Johnny used the Silent Magician. So when the QCRs came out of the Silent Magician and Silent Swordsman, I had to pick them up as well. And then over on this side, of course, we've got the Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician of Speed Duel Secrets. We have the Rush Duel Dark Magician Girl, and then the Speed Duel Secret Egyptian God cards and Flame Swordsman. Flame Swordsman was my favourite card until Odd Eyes got released. So Flame Swordsman has fallen to 2nd place, but still, I absolutely love it. The only thing I don't like is that it's a fusion monster. I've got nothing against fusion monsters, but it's 2 materials that are absolutely shit, so you will never play them. So at best, it's an instant fusion target. But if that was a main deck monster, even at 5 stars and 1800, you bet your ass I'd most probably still be putting it in every deck I play today. And then, of course, you can't have the Flame Swordsman without Salamandra. Gear 3 the Iron Knight is actually here for completely sentimental reasons. This is the Speed Duel Secret, and it's sat here because I tried to get all the Speed Duel Secrets, like at least one copy of them all, and I actually got really close. Had like a folder just filled with them with the different sets, and then a few of them really spiked in price because of decks that were coming out, to the point where I couldn't say no to breaking down that collection to sell those pieces and just keep the ones that have sentimental reasons for me for one reason or the other. Now, the original Gear Freed I have is actually up on my wall, which I will show you afterwards. And the reason why it set out to me, I think I was like 14 years old when Gear 3 came out. I had commons, and I really loved the interaction of Gear 3 Dying Knight and the trap card Blast with Chain, because when Blast with Chain is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, it can pop a monster your opponent controls, but when it's activated it equips to one of your monsters and powers it up by 500. Gear 3's effect is when a equip card is equipped to it, destroy that equip card, which is why Butterfly Elmer Dagger got banned. But anyway, so I really loved that interaction, and my mate Johnny, like I mentioned him earlier with the Silent Magicians, he pulled a super rare out of his packs, and obviously pulling a super rare back now sounds easy as fuck, but back in the day you were not guaranteed super rares. They were just that, they were super rare. So the fact that he pulled it, I was out of my mind, and he was like, here, you can just have it. And like, to me, that was so kind and so generous. I've kept that original card all of these years, and again, it's beat up, it's scuffed to fuck, but when I saw it got a Speed Door Secret, I had to pick it up for the collection. And then on this side, of course, we've got the tokens that can't be used as tokens, and then the originals from the actual structure decks. This was my first structure deck card for a lot of people, and this was Johnny's. When he quit the game, I took his Dark Magician just to keep it with my blue eyes, and I also had the red eyes, and he had the Relinquished, which I've got. It's just sat in another folder, but for me, Relinquished just doesn't deserve to be on this page. I know that sounds weird because they're the 4 original structure decks, because these were the first 2, then structure deck Joey and Pegasus, but it's the 3 iconic monsters. And then I've got the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon from the gold printing, and the only reason why this is here is because it's misprinted, but they were all misprinted back then. So I'll show you this. Its defense points are wrong. So this has 3,000 defense points, should have 3,800. I'll skip the empty pages. So this is just now Crystal Beasts. It is my favourite archetype ever. It's not every Crystal Beast card. I've got all the supers, ultras, whatever, commons kicking about in one of my tins. This is just like, oh, a little display piece, so you know, you got the tokens. I've got the platinum rare Ancient City Rainbow Ruins, just because I don't have the money to chuck on QCRs just to sit in a folder for this. I might do one day. And then Rainbow Bridge, just because it's very iconic, so you know, you can actually see the Rainbow Bridge in the Ancient City. Then with the Rainbow Dragon, of course, I do have the QCR one. I have the Speed Door Secret and then the Ultra Rare. I do plan to upgrade these to the QCRs as well. And then with the Sapphire Pegasus, I've got the Speed Door Secret and then 2 Ultras. I'd love to get them QCR, but they're actually quite expensive for QCRs. I do have the QCR Ruby Carbuncles, which is amazing. I was so happy that came out as a QCR. I'm completely missing, is that the Amber Mammoth? Am I on the right page? Yeah, the Amber Mammoth. Completely missing them. I had a playset of all of these, so I don't know where the Amber Mouse went. I don't know where my other cat went, or my turtle, but the Ultra Rares are very easy and very cheap to pick up, so I will pick them up again. And then I am slowly collecting all the Guardian cards, because again, in the anime, I absolutely loved Raphael. I thought he was arguably the best character in that whole show. So, while I left a gap here, I can't remember what goes there, but this will be Guardian Iatos' sword, then the Guardian Dread Scythe, hit their Gravity Axe. You know, so I'm missing quite a few, and I think it's one of these cards I know is extremely beat up. I think it's the Rod of Silence is like bent, so like get another one of them. And ideally I want to upgrade my Graal to the super rare as well, because at the minute that's just the rare. But yeah, so this is another little collection I'm working on, And then the other archetype that came out in the original anime again, which I just thought was absolutely amazing, is the Cinderella story. So you got your Golden Castle. This is where the bird goes because you discovered the bird to search Golden Castle, Hex Trudades, pumpkin carriages, Cinderella and her glass slippers. And then you have the Iron Hands, the Knight and the Steel Cage, and then that's all of that. This is my Dragoonity. These are just some old decks that I used to play. Dragoonity, which was really, really fun, but really, really crap, unfortunately. Math Mech, I absolutely love it. Got my first locals tops with Math Mech. I say tops, I actually won locals twice with Math Mech. But Circular obviously got banned. I sold my Firewall Defences, but I'll pick them back up. And then I got the Secret Rare Signet Minans, because Secret Rare is my favourite rarity. And then, yeah, so that's all my Math Mech stuff. And then you've seen these cards before. This is my Amazement stuff. I play it in Trap Tricks, but what I don't play in Trap Tricks is all of them. Like, for example, off this page, I will play 3 time tickets and 2 of this. I do not play the Field Spell. I do not play any of these monsters. But these are all sat here because this is every single Amazement card, a play set of every single Amazement card. And just because it is a funfair, and I think that's amazing. And then my Page of Judgment and my Spanish Man-Eater Bug, which David gave me as a welcome to the team kind of thing to help sell for him. But yeah, so that's just like my personal collection folder. Nothing in here is really worth any money, but everything in here is sentimental to me in one way or another. Like, this folder to me is more important than my staple folder or anything else, which is why I wanted to show this one off. But with that in mind, I think I've rambled on enough this week. So I really hope you enjoyed this very random episode. Like I said, I wasn't able to get to locals today. Sam was offering me a lift, but due to car issues and childcare issues, I just had to stay home and watch my little one for a little bit, which is absolutely fine. You know, dad first, daughter second at the end of the day. So any time that's needed, I will happily give up Yu-Gi-Oh to sit and chill with my kids. But with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like, and like I say, anything else you want to see or any other video suggestions, please leave them in the notes below. But until next week, peace out. Look after yourselves.